are here in Cedar Bluff, Alabama at Cedar Bluff High School, and I'm going to let these two gentlemen introduce themselves at this time.
Jacob Burleson, quarterback and free safety.
Alexander Leak, slot receiver, free safety.
All right, guys. We'll start the video off. This is actually a preseason video for it's our version of Media Days, where we actually come out to the school, watch you guys work out, and what I got to see out there, I was very impressed. Let's start out the difference between this year and last year. Last year at this time, we didn't even know if we were going to have football, right? Because of COVID. And then when COVID hit, then we had certain protocols, which made it more difficult for the coach to get in what he wants, and then you guys get in the work you need. Talk about the difference this year from last year at this point.
Yeah, last year we just took it practice by practice. We didn't know if we was going to have practice tomorrow or if we was going to be in quarantine the next 2 weeks. So you just had to take it day by day.
It was really tough. Last year, in the gym, couldn't really breathe, hot, and everything you do, you gotta clean off every single time. You bench, you gotta clean it off right there in the squat, clean it off. Power clean, you gotta clean it off every single time. It's like that.
Definitely different one.
Yeah, it's just so clean, just cleanness like that.
All right, so let's take it back. Let's take it up to this summer right here. How's workouts been going so far for you personally?
I feel like I'm getting a lot stronger and faster this summer for real. I've been going to a lot of camps this summer, and that's been really good for me. So get my name out there, for the camps like that, and just work my butt off every day, for real.
Like you said with the camps, last year we couldn't do any camps, and doing camps this year, I think it's really helped with the mental part, being a quarterback, pretty good bit.
Now you guys have a new offensive coordinator here as well, as long as a new head coach. Let's start with the offensive coordinator. It's Coach Metlock. Is that correct? Is that how you pronounce it?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Talk about his experience. He's been coaching high school football since 1981. I mean, that's a little while, guys. What have you learned from him personally? Because he seems to be, as Coach Becky called him, a quarterback guru.
Yes, sir. First day I met him, I knew he was going to be special to me. He's been teaching me something new, something better every single day, stuff I can do to make anything better, really.
No doubt. What have you seen from him, skill position wise? I mean, obviously, your quarterback play improves. It improves what you do as well, getting you out into space, let you do the things that you do.
Like you said, this year he's so far the plays I've been getting is good plays like that, short and quick. Give me open field so I can just take off and score every single time,
And I actually heard him in practice say every single play is designed to score.
Yes, sir.
If it's done correctly, done right, we're supposed to score in every single play. Just having that mindset of a coach that is, that dialed in and actually expects that from you. What does that mean for you, confidence-wise?
I feel like we're in the same boat. We're ready to score every single time, every drive.
The defensive coordinator might not like it because he has. That's another story. We'll talk about that later. You being quarterbacking an offense like that and those kind of expectations, what does that mean to you?
Yeah, I just like everybody buying in, wanting to score. Makes my job easy. Everybody's putting full effort in, running routes and stuff.
Now, as we can see behind us here, this school has a rich tradition. It's, state championships and been very good at football for many, many years. Bringing in Coach Beckett, experienced coach, has a lot of years of experience in and around this area. He also has a lot of confidence. I was at a 6A school in Clay Chalkville, and their coaching staff, Matt Glover, widely considered one of the best defensive coordinators in the state. Had nothing but high things to say about Coach Beck when they worked together. But having a guy with that kind of background and that many people respect him, it's time to get back to those winning ways here. Obviously, talk about what Coach Beckett's meant to you and the time that he's had his hands on you.
It's been great. He's got an answer for everything, and he follows the schedule very well, and he's been doing a good job.
He's really great guy. Anywhere I go, I always hear good things from him, and ready to win. He's always a positive guy, and he's always on the duty every single day.
No doubt.
Every day.
Now, what is the maddest you've made Coach Beckett so far? I'll want to hear. Let's get to this.
First day, he was trying to hold it up, and I thought we was jogging over there to the circle, but we didn't. And then all I know, he said stadium, and we did a little stadium. That's all I can say to that. Then one thing is, don't talk when he's talking at all, because it's not gonna turn good at all.
You're gonna shut that down quick, huh?
Yes, sir, he is.
Yeah, you better be looking at him and listening to him when he's talking.
No doubt. Pay attention. Little things like that, though, can get you beat. What if you're not listening in the game? You know what I mean?
Yes, sir.
Now, you guys just had a very successful 7-on-7. Talk about that experience. You actually played some powerhouse teams from around this area.
Oh yeah, I think we did pretty well coming in. We hired the offensive coordinator a couple of days before that when we ran the plays, and I think we did pretty well.
So basically, what you're telling me is this stuff's easy. You know, new OC don't matter. We're still gonna roll, right? I'm just kidding. Good.
It was really good for real. Like I was like really shocked. You know, everybody was like really surprised, and you know, like we're a little small 1A schools like that. You know, we competed with some big schools. You know, and I think we really did really good for real. Everybody was like a little shook, you know, because it's our first day as a team, like, as a camp together. You know, we did pretty good. You know, we got a good bit of young guys, but they didn't really show that they was young. You know, they played their heart out. You know, the best they could.
Coming out of that 7-on-7, that has to give you guys newfound confidence, correct?
Yes, sir.
Talk about that and how you're going to use that to springboard, obviously, to the rest of these summer workouts and get ready in the fall camp.
There's no days off. You know, like that next day, I was just hoping everybody would come back to workouts that next day. And I'm not gonna lie, it was pretty tough. You know, an hour drive down there, hour drive back. You know, got home pretty late a little bit, not too late. I got into bed, you know, slept. Had to wake up at 7:30, go back to workouts again the next day. So for everybody to come out next day, and same people that came out the next day, I was really surprised, you know, and that's really good because everybody's want to bond in as a team together.
No doubt. That's awesome. You didn't have time to get on the Xbox?
No, sir. Shower, go to bed.
I feel like us competing and winning against bigger schools, it kind of made everybody like, hey, maybe we need to buy into this. The guys on the board are like, hey, let's buy into this. And I feel like we're going to be really good with everybody buying in.
No, what grade are you in this year?
I'll be a senior.
You'll be a senior, so this is your last hurrah. Talk about your time here at Cedar Bluff and what it's meant, and now the keys and the reins handed over to you. It's your team. You've been a senior leader quarterback.
Yeah, I remember I played varsity 8th grade. I just got in on special teams a little bit. I slowly started making my way to the starting position at safety. I kind of had some roles in there, but nothing like this. You know, this is kind of my team, and I just feel like I need to take over.
No doubt. And you see guys like this come up to the program, and obviously your brother is a really good player as well. Talk about being around this program, seeing these guys come up, what it's meant for you to know that one day, you know, obviously right now you're a part of this team, but one day you're going to be in their role as a senior. But what have you learned to this point from those guys?
Well, toughness. That's a good word for us. Like, just toughness. We never give up for real. Always try to fight, you know. And always try to be better the next day. You know, just like, you know, everybody want to doubt us, you know, because we're a little smaller school, but we always try to find a way to win. That's our goal. Just find any way we can win, and just play hard every single play. Next play, you know, cheer your team up if they mess up. You know, cheer them up. You never put them down. Just be like, next play you got it. And everybody keep their heads up.
No doubt. Man, it's been a pleasure talking with you two guys, and we're looking forward to covering you guys. We're in the works of getting someone hired for this county so they'll be out here all the time with you guys, and that'll be huge. If not, I'm a phone call away with you and Coach Beckett. Good luck to you guys moving forward this season.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
All right, we are here at Cedar Bluff High School, and I'm going to let these two gentlemen introduce themselves.
All right, I'm Alan Beckett.
Garrett Crane.
Coach Beckett, you and I got to know each other a little bit last year. You was at Gadsden City. Everywhere I went, you know, a lot of people said a lot of good things about you. You know, anybody from Matt Glover, as I said earlier, Coach Benefield, anybody. What was it that intrigued you about Cedar Bluff that made you feel that you need to come here to Cedar Bluff?
First off, thank you for what you guys do. You do a great job of promoting high school sports, and kids. You know, kids. Man, that's really important for these schools, these communities, get this kind of accolade. So we thank you for you coming along, and I think you're the wave of the future. This is where it's at. You know, social media. So I think it's just a great thing. Cedar Bluff. You know, I was happy where I was at. Gadsden City. You know, we were in the. I think you alluded to earlier. That's the big leagues of all big leagues of high school sports. It doesn't get a whole lot better around the country because Alabama high school is pretty good sports. I mean, pretty good football. So I say that to say, well, I was at a good place and I was happy. Cedar Bluff opened. Cedar Bluff's intrigued me. being from the area, Cedar Bluff special. Cedar Bluff, it's just it's a different kind of place, from community to the great administration, great faculty, and great tradition. And they win in sports. You know, and you can see from the backdrop here, sports matter, and it's quality people.
No doubt. And Coach, give us a little bit of background about yourself and where you came from. You're a Cedar Bluff guy, but Coach, tell me, talk about your background and your role here on this team.
Yeah, so I was fortunate enough to grow up here. Went to Cedar Bluff my whole life. I graduated in 2010. Graduated from Jacksonville State. As I was at Jacksonville State, I was fortunate enough to be able to help out coaching there at the same time. Went away 1 year to Coosa Christian and been back here since it's 13. Been co-offensive coordinator, moved around, but the last 3 years I've done offensive line and defensive line.
So you're the trenches man around here.
Yes, sir. I think it's an important part of the game. Try to really buy in with them. I know your name's not going to be in the paper and everything else. At the end of the day, guys, if it's not about us, it's the whole team. But it makes them feel like a really special group and important.
What I've always heard from coaches, and I think you two gentlemen will agree with this, the name may not be in the paper, but it's usually first in that film room.
Yeah,
If the guys don't get it done, then usually that's
It's known.
That's it, 100%.
Same way though, they are getting it done.
Right back at you. During your time at Jacksonville State, talk about those days and how important that was to you're a Cedar Bluff guy and you got out to Jack State and also be on the coaching staff there.
Yeah, so I was just briefly there. I helped out J.R. Sandlin there briefly from a recruiting standpoint. Just kind of got to see that side of it. It was brief, but just seeing that, and it kind of led me back in this position and kind of have a hand in with our guys and give them a viewpoint from there, what they're expecting when they get to that next point.
What was your first interaction when you met Coach Beckett here, and your first conversation and his vision? And how did you take that?
So I was fortunate. I said, remember from high school wise when he was at Collinsville. So to kind of have that interesting bond was in itself. But meeting him here, everything I'd heard previously from other relationships, he was a player guy. He was a player first type of guy. And that, to me, buying into the players and what it means for them is so exciting. That's absolutely, he's been a beacon of light for this community so far, for our players, and just mentally, the X's and O's speaks for itself. But the type of guy, the type of quality guy that he is what really intrigues us here in the community.
Coach, and I know you have a lot of respect for this gentleman, but who are some of these other coaches that you've gotten on staff here that you'd like to mention at this time?
Yeah, you mentioned earlier Ricky Medlock. Came in from great background, just coached forever, and from Florida. And you got there you go with a former head coach, longtime head coach, and worked so many camps and with so many universities. So special guy. Justin Little come in. I had coached Justin. Then Justin went and volunteered. One of the jobs I was at, I basically had staff of basically zero, and he wanted to get into coaching, and part of it he was like, Coach, I want to help you out. It meant a lot to me. He was loyal to me. I'm gonna be loyal to him. And then he turned around. He went and spent 2 years at JSU as a student coach. Learned a ton of information there. Then he went to Pinson Valley, and then we were about to get him on at Gas City. And then, but he turned around and he came and followed and came in here. Barry Rice, that helps work with our junior high, is going to help work with our safeties this time. And then Nathan Wehunt, there's another former head coach, a guy that's been to a lot of big schools, been at coordinator at several places. And then you're talking about Coach Crane. You're dealing with who will work into our assistant head coaching spot, and you got somebody that he can do any position. Been a coordinator, so you're really sitting here with 4 guys that's been coordinators, which is I feel like we'll have a chance staff wise at this level with that kind of staff.
That is no doubt. The years of experience, I mean, that's
good.
immeasurable right there.
Yeah, I'm proud of the staff.
Now, let's talk about that vision when you first got here. And I know at one point last year, I believe Cedar Bluff was down to 19 players at one point last year. Talk about those challenges and how you have to. It is what it is. The hand was dealt, but getting the numbers up, getting morale and everything up. But let's talk.
Well, a couple of things were at play there. You were dealing with COVID, and I think it affected a lot of people. Of course, everybody was on the same playing field of sorts there, and then all of a sudden you had some small boy classes come through, which happens at a small school. So it makes you a really small pool to draw from. So I think some of those things were at play, and then. and we just when they're fresh, when you come in fresh, kids get a new shot, new chance. They get to start over with a new guy. So that's kind of been part of it. And we're trying to, build up our roster with the right kind of person, right kind of guy that we feel like is productive for everybody else. But trying to build those numbers back up. But it's a situation at a great foundation. You're coming into I've inherited a couple times where you coming in and it was terrible foundation. You're starting over and it's just let's just call it the way it is. And it was really bad. And those take a long time to start to put a foundation here. This thing's got a rich tradition, a lot of foundation, and really Coach McCorders. I mean, it doesn't get any better than that as a person and as a coach. And he's continued to help, which has been vital to us, and it's he's kind of like moved into a GM spot with us, and and I've been able to consult him, and he said, hey man, I don't want to get in your way, and I'm like, I want you in my way. I want input from you. So he's I think he's been vital to what we've tried to do.
Coach, you don't need to go through that. You get too many gray hairs trying to build it from the ground up.
Yeah,
coming into a good place that helps with the hair.
And I'll be honest with you, I think it was John Holder I told one time. I said, I'm not doing that again. I'm not one that's totally
it's sank to the bottom of the ocean.
There's nothing there. Not going through that because it's time consuming, and the guy in the 12th row, he really doesn't get what all it takes. All they see is a Friday night and the clock, and all the foundation of getting players out and the facilities, and some places didn't even have practice fields, and and trying to get administration to work with you to have weight classes and stuff. That takes a long time to start to put an infrastructure, make connections with people in the community. Don't have to do any of that here.
Yeah.
Cedar Bluff is sports matter, and they understand how sports, not only do sports matter, sports relate to having a really good school, having good academics, and kids tying them back into and you're and it's proven that people who have strong sports, your kids don't get in trouble. They don't get in trouble near as much. I mean, things do happen, but you don't deal with nearly as much. It's all tied in and to a good school, and they get it here.
The guy in the 12th row just stopped by Jack's and got him a combo meal while you're out doing all that.
He 100% don't get it, 100%. But Mr. Thrasher has he's been at places and great experience, and he was a key. And if he, not for him, I'm not making this move.
No doubt. Now, you've been around this much knowledge and this many years experience and this many coordinators and head coaches. What has that meant for you in your career?
Oh man, it's a blend. You learn so much from so many people, and right now, immediately they came in the door, I'm trying to pick their minds. I am. Immediately they come in, so not only from like the X's and O's standpoint, but maybe the terminology that they use. The little things like that is so important to me of how we're making this block different, or if we're rubbing this a certain way, or what verbiage are using, the terminology. Those little things and that detail that's involved with this new coaching staff that we orchestrated is just absolutely just through the roof.
Now, we've kind of got a background of where you guys are at this point from the staff. Let's dive into this. We're going to start dialing this thing into this season coming up. And you're offensive and defensive line coach, correct?
Yes, sir.
All right. Who are some of the guys that you're going to lean on heavy, some of the guys that you've got to have on Friday nights to kind of spearhead what you do on the offensive and defensive line? Because a lot of you guys play both ways.
They do. Yeah. Fortunately, at a small place, that's kind of the beauty of it. So they play on both sides of it, but at the same time, that gives you an idea of what the other side's expecting to do. So some guys we're looking forward to, all of them, of course, but just to single a couple out. Expecting big things this year in growth from Dylan Kennard, James Vaughn, and looking for a new step-in role from Malachi Jelt and then Dawson Wheeler to mix into that same instance from up front on both sides of the ball.
Now, I was looking at some of them cats. I told Coach, I said, man, you got some dudes on the front of that line up there.
We do. Absolutely.
They don't even have pads on today. They were dudes in T-shirts and shorts.
Absolutely. And so, said size-wise, their footwork is good. They have a great work ethic. When trying to develop that little bit of a nasty streak, that's one of those things that you want up front on both sides to finish those blocks. The hand placement, those things are going to come along. A little bit new. Blocking schemes are similar. One or two things are a little different. Verbiage, we're going to try to get on the same page on that. But they're ready to roll. They're excited, and we're excited. It's a new group, but they're used to the tradition, the ways of what expectations are.
Now, Coach, from a skill position point, we'll start offensive backfield and receiving core. I'll let you go through those groups real fast if you don't mind.
Yeah, I think we got offensively, we got a couple different weapons. We got Nick Clifton that can, shifting, can be a pretty good running back, and Preston Burke's going to be able to run the ball, maybe split out a little bit, and Cade Browning is one of our receivers. Austin Richardson had a really good day the other day, and he's just really competitive and really proud of where he is. Then we coming off of that, the goal is start to find some backups and some guys that could come in and get in that rotation, and that's where we are right now. Those guys, and you met Jacob just a second ago, and you met Bucky. Those two guys, are definitely unknown as well. Just want to find some other guys that can get in that rotation, because I like a lot of guys with touches, but offensively, we feel like we got a chance there.
Well, performing like you did in that 7-on-7 obviously has to grow their confidence. And the short period of time that you guys had your hands on to go down there and perform is pretty miraculous.
It was encouraging first day.
No doubt. Now, flip around defensive backfield. What are those guys going to look like?
Yeah, and you probably can fill it in as much as me on where Cody Bice, played a little bit the other day. Austin Richardson.
Boundary field corners.
Yeah, and you got Preston Burt on the inside. You got Hagen Stallings came in, and Jacob Burleson was one of the safeties. So and then Bucky. So and then again, there we are. After that, we're gonna turn around and try to find some depth.
No doubt. Linebacking core. What are you guys looking like linebacking core wise? Where those guys played, or the guys?
Yeah, a lot of those guys mentioned were flipping.
They're like hybrid.
Yeah, they were hybrid and going both ways, and then we'll find some guys, I think, that'll come in and spell them, and that's kind of where we are, is kind of finding.
Here's another X factor that a lot of people overlook, but not coaches. Special teams wise, what are we looking at?
Yeah, and we had him. To be honest with you, we hadn't got to that in July. As we move into July in a couple more weeks, because we're still at the install period.
Gotcha.
We were so late coming in, but and having coordinators and such strong coordinators already in place, that's going to give me something to do and really get into the special team. So I'll know more. Nick Clifton will handle some of the kicking. We'll see if. Maybe Carter or some can get into the punting. We'll see where we're at real soon. So it's really an unknown. It's a great question. I want to know. I want to know myself because hey, it's a third of the game. It's really big. I really enjoyed that at the 7A level because there was such scheme involved with it. So I look forward to it.
No doubt, it's huge. Now, before we shut down, I ask each one of you guys another question. From your standpoint, what is your number one goal that your job that you have to get done to get these guys ready before August?
From the August standpoint, says flipping that mental switch. The physical tools, of course, the conditions can come along with it. We're going to be there. We know that's going to happen. We're going to be there from a physical standpoint. But the mental switch of not getting burnt out too soon and getting each other better from a daily standpoint. I know sometimes it's hard, and we use that term brother-in-law and some of that, and it happens sometimes. But for mentally to grow from that, okay, look, I know we're out here, we're going to bust it for each other, for our mindset going in. So just the mental side of it, that mental edge of when it's getting there to flip it and turn it.
No doubt. Coach, same kind of question for you. The things that, I know there's several, like you just mentioned special teams, obviously, but from an outside looking in your mindset, something that you got, hey, this is some things that we just got to get done before August gets here.
Yeah, that's broad. That's the kind of that question's infinity, but we're you just make sure we get to our condition, make sure we get our kids here, make sure we get everything installed. We're such a late point. And buy-in's a big thing to me. As you come in new, they don't have a volume of, is it going to be a situation where, and they're bought in right now. I can tell you that. I can't always tell groups bought in, but get them. And then when the first time you had adversity, are we still bought in, or do we go, when I'm off the boat? And those kind of things worry me. And adversity's coming, especially when you play, Jamboree will be a big time opponent like a Plainview, and you turn around and you play a Spring Garden, and then you play a Summerton Christian and a Valley defending region champ Valley Head. How are we gonna handle adversity? Because it's coming, and just making sure we secure ourselves. So that's a daily struggle to get to that point.
Now, before I shut it down, Coach, I'm going to let you end the video on this. You being new here, I just want to turn it over to you for you to tell the fans and administration and moms and dads and everybody's coming out and wants to be a part of this program, what they're going to expect when you guys get here in August, just from your team overall.
Well, I coach effort, so my big deal is effort, and I'm not sitting here I'm not a promissory guy, but I'm just telling you, we're going to, that's goal number one, is to get effort and energy and to get after it on the daily and make everybody proud. So that's I'm a win today, and then we're gonna turn around and win tomorrow, and that's my goal. And I'm not looking a whole lot further than next Tuesday's workout. Coming back in here, getting folks back in and off the break and ready, and we're gonna turn around and continue to do it. And it's definitely a marathon. And it's a grind as you go through the season. So, but I look forward to it. We're talking buy-in of the players. Next thing, you got to 100% get the buy-in with the coaches, and then you turn around and you got to get the school and all the people that you need, faculty and staff, and so all that's in our 30 and 60 day window of things that we want to get. And then the community has been great so far. And but understand that make sure that we have a really strong infrastructure the first time we hit any kind of adversity.
I love it, Coach. You got to tell these guys they can't eat too much barbecue. They still got a job to do here now. Yeah. They can't get too carried away with that. But anyways, Coach, I appreciate both of you guys taking time out of your day, because I know you guys are extremely busy, and that's not going to change all the way through August, and it definitely ain't going to change when the season gets here. Thank you guys. Good luck to you guys moving forward.
Doesn't get any better than Cedar Bluff. Go Tigers.
There you go.
Thank you.